What's going on, everybody? It's Kirton here,
Energy.
D.B.A.B
Whoa, whoa,
podcast.
whoa, 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 whoa. Energy.
Start over. Okay,
Juice.
hold up.
Yes.
Let me
Bring the
get it up here.
juice.
Get up here. Hold up. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Kirton on the D.B.A.B podcast with your other homie, Cletus here. It is just us two, the wonderful duo, here to give you another awesome episode.
Love it.
That was better, right? Better with the
Yes,
energy and stuff.
the juice was there on that one.
I'm sorry. We were just
You
talking
brought the
about
juice.
our little pregame. Usually, for our listeners there, like when we first get on before we
We
record,
talked for an hour.
I about to say it's easily 30 minutes to an hour. We're just cutting it, we're just letting it loose, just talking, catching up, whatnot. Tonight we began a little bit talking about some baseball, and I said, "Hey, wait. There's a lot of good, juicy content that we don't get on the podcast because we're not recording." So I just started it early.
Yeah.
Cletus called me out. We had to redo it real quick and bring some of that energy into the show. But like I said, we were talking about some baseball because the Astros and Twins are playing right now. And what Cletus told me, the Astros are up 3-1 in the fifth.
Into the fifth, about to be the top of the sixth.
That'll be top of the sixth. So obviously, for those people that have been keeping track, right, if the Astros win tonight, they will clinch their seventh straight ALCS appearance, which is awesome for them. It's an awesome achievement if you just kind of take the bias out of everything. And it's kind of crazy to think about that. That's like an NFL team going to their conference championship 7 times in a row. Like, so think of the Patriots. They kind of did something similar. I don't know if it was,
Dynasty, man.
Yeah, especially in the American League. They are definitely the elite alpha dogs of the American League, at least for the minimum the last 7 years. So, and they will, if they win, they will match up with the Texas Rangers. And
Daddy's coming, Texas. Daddy's coming.
I just hope that series is good. I mean, I just want it to be a good series. Being the neutral, like I would like it. I wouldn't even mind if that series went to 6 or 7. Make it interesting. Make it get your money's worth. Don't let it be like the Yankees Astros last year. It wasn't ALCS, but don't let it just be a boring sweep. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows that recently the Astros are the daddies of New York. So I will ungratefully say that
with New York's lack of just doing anything and trying to fix the problem, it's going to continue to be that way.
It's terrible.
They will not fix the problem. And I know you and Coach Strunk are. Yeah, I really want to see a tally between throughout baseball season, all 162 games. How many times y'all say "F the Yankees"?
So I started at the beginning of the year. I think I told you that.
Yes.
And like he and I talked about it, and I told him, I'm like, I'm gonna just keep track because it was early on. We're just letting it go. F the Yankees, just for everything, all that, because we're diehard fans. We're invested, but seeing the same production for the last 5 years, the same kind of,
it's like Cowboy fans.
Story. Yeah, the same story. There's been no movement. There's been a bunch of excuses. There's a bunch of cracks, if you will, and they're just trying to tape it over with duct tape instead of trying to just knock it all down and do it properly.
Excuse me.
You know what I mean? So I started off early, and I would say within first month of baseball, we were easily clearing triple digits with that, and then eventually got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm done. It's just it's going to be in the thousands, if you will, by the end of the season, especially with how the year went for the Yankees.
Right.
Because obviously now they're at home. But, reading recent reports and seeing different things, you see other ball clubs going out there and making changes. The Giants made the change. I think the Angels made a change. Not the Angels. Somebody else made a change because, most franchises, when you think about it, if they are struggling for a set period of time, not a year or two, but if it's been 3, 4, 5 years where it's been the same story, then you just eventually get to the point where you kind of cut your losses and you go a different direction. It's just how it is.
Especially with the franchise as story as the Yankees. Daddy Steinbrenner set the expectation to win.
Yeah,
and when he bought the team, and obviously they were winning well before he bought the team.
But they were kind of in a
standard of New York.
Yeah, when
the
he
standard
bought
of
the
Yankees is championships.
When he bought the Yankees, I want to say he bought the Yankees in the 80s or something. But the previously before he got it, they weren't the Yankees they were when Babe Ruth and those guys were coming through and winning those early
Ooh.
titles and stuff. You know what I mean? Like the
Mhm.
'80s weren't really good to the Yankees. The early '90s were definitely not good for the Yankees, but eventually they got it turned around and had their little mini dynasty there at the late '90s, early 2000s. Um, and then towards the
Why?
end,
Because Daddy Steinberg was not afraid to spend money. He
no,
did
and
not care about the salary, the luxury tax.
uh-uh.
Who
All
who
he
can
wanted
who
to
can
do
help
was
us
win.
win? Who
Yeah,
can
all
help
he
us
wanted to
win?
do was win. He didn't.
How
He
much
didn't
does he
care.
want? Blank
Yeah,
check. Here's
he
a
didn't.
blank check.
Yeah, he didn't care about nothing. He just wanted to win. Right? He was kind of like that Al Davis of the Raiders, like win baby win. You know what I mean? But
Ah, dang
obviously
it!
he had a little bit more success than the Raiders did with Davis. But ever since his son has
Come on,
taken over and
Jordan.
he passed away, R.I.P. Um, and with Cashman being there and kind of being the main guy pulling the strings, if you will, it's just been a steady decline of the overall franchise. Even though they've had some great players come through, Aaron Judge is a great player, Garrett Cole's a great player. They've had some other guys come through, and it's just never been able to, you
How
know.
how many of those guys in the '90s were farm system guys?
Oh, tons of them. Like so, when they
So
had
that's the
their
other thing too. How the Yankees, they're really Judge.
yeah,
Does
and
he
then
really get kind of their only like farm system guy
yeah,
that's worked out so far?
yeah, I would say in the last few years, Labor Torres has been pretty consistent. We kind of sometimes watching him as a true fan, you kind of get disappointed because it seems like he goes through a lot of ebb and flows. But
God damn,
looking at his
son of
stats
a
this year, he actually put up some really good numbers this year. But again, it's just like you're wasting some of these
talent.
guys in their prime years
What's the
because
freaking
of
Angels? Freaking, they got the best,
oh
arguably the best seven-tool player, Matt Trout, in the
yeah,
last 50 years,
oh yeah,
and Shohei, and they're on a shit organization.
yeah, absolutely. Now
And
I'm
I feel you
grateful.
feel bad for them.
Yeah, I'm grateful that the Yankees aren't that bad. If we wanted to talk about the Angels, like yeah, you hit it right on the head with that one in terms of wasting your superstars' prime years. And I know Trout's had some injury problems the last couple of years, but still, Trout, one of the greatest baseball players of this generation. Then you have Otani, who's one of the
Damn,
greatest. He will probably be one of the greatest talents of this generation coming. You know what I mean? So like,
the only
waste those
only true
guys.
two-way, yeah.
Yeah, and they took the gamble, which again, biased, kind of hoping that the Yankees would make a move for him before the deadline to see if that would spark. But like the Angels, and again, it's to their credit, they thought that they had a chance, but in that situation, you kind of think for the Angels, they should have just dealt him, collected. They could have got a king's ransom
Just
for him at that point because he wasn't hurt. He was still a two
just
way guy.
just saying right now, we're about to have an all AL West ALCS. I don't think there's anything the Angels could have done with
No,
these two teams. With the catch, really the Mariners too. To
yeah,
catch those top three.
yeah, especially this year. The Mariners have done well to improve their ball club.
Yeah, yes,
Um,
they do.
Even
Mariners.
The Rangers have done a really great
I
job the last couple of years of free agency and stuff like that, and making some really good aggressive trade line
mhm.
deals to
I
bolster their pitching staff and their team overall, and it's a
I
big part
wish
as to why they're in the ALCS.
I wish Jack Adam or Cody were on, just
Right?
because I want to ask them this question. As a Ranger fan, this time last year, what was your expectation?
Like coming into this season.
Yes, for the ALCS last year, your team sitting at home, trying to figure out how to win, how to catch the Astros,
I think
and
it's kind of like what
what
Jack
was your
had been saying.
expectation going into it?
I think it's kind of like what had Jack had said to us, to where they would be in the hunt and then kind of peter out towards the end, like what they almost did this year. You know what I mean? So he was almost
They
really close.
tried.
They tried.
They tried like that.
Well, even Astros tried too. You
Oh,
look at the
dude,
Astros
it
last
was
15 games;
freaking a.
they were trying to
Yes,
give it to either the Mariners or the Rangers. You know what I mean? And then
it
both
was
those
so.
teams choked,
Oh,
if in a way.
it was so bad. It was like the Rangers went, okay, Houston, you can have it. Then the last 15 games, Houston's like, okay, we don't want it. It's
Yeah, you
okay.
take it.
It's
You take
okay,
it.
Texas. You take it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
take it.
we'll spare it this year for y'all, and then the Rangers were like, no, 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 no.
No.
Yeah, you just take it. We'll just hand it to
Uh,
you. So, but they responded really well. I will say to the
yes.
Rangers, they have responded really well. They've swept both
Be
of
right
their
back.
wild cards and all that stuff. Yeah, go ahead. They've done really well. Obviously, you know, what I mean, they've, you know, to the listeners right now, it's just your boy Curtin right now, as Clete is temporarily backs away from the mic. But the Rangers have done really well. They played really well in their wild card series against the Rays. They played really well in their divisional series against the Baltimore Orioles. So they're playing really good baseball at the moment. Hopefully that carries over into their series with, I'm going to presume, the Astros. I think their pitching staff is going to match up well. Hopefully the bats are able to follow them into their series with Houston. So wishing the Rangers all the best, wishing our boys Jack and Cobbs and Adam all the best as they watch the Rangers compete against the Astros, um, and all that kind of good stuff. So it's exciting time in baseball. Obviously in the NL, right? I think the Braves and the Phillies are still going at it. Incredible ending the other night in the Braves game with the double play to end it to win 5-4 over the Phillies. That series is tied 1-1, I believe, off the top of my head. Um, and then, of course, on the other NL divisional series game, you have the Diamondbacks, who are very impressive, almost Texas Rangers like, if you will, with their run from the wild card to now having a 2-game lead over the Dodgers. And you know, talking about the Dodgers real quick, talk about a franchise that, you know, I think they won it a couple years ago, but a franchise that's been one of the class of the MLB, but kind of a struggle in the playoffs. You know, besides maybe having that 1 year of making it and winning it. I think they made it another year. I think the Rays beat them. I don't know, or maybe they beat the Rays in the series. Can't remember off the top of my head, but it's going to be interesting to see how they respond there. So exciting times in baseball. Shout out to my boy Jack. The NHL season has officially started. Go Stars, go! Hopefully they can repeat their feat of making it back to the Stanley Cup Finals and this time taking the trophy home back to Dallas. So wishing the Stars all the best as they begin their new season uh, in the NHL. So exciting times here. I'm just going to continue to talk and babble until my boy Clete gets back on the mic for the DBAB podcast. But always remember, right, we get this little time here, that you can find the DBAB podcast anywhere podcast can be found. That could be Apple, that could be Spotify, that could be anywhere podcast can be found. Remember, we are also on YouTube and Twitter, so check us out. And always remember, you can find us here, and you can listen to a great show of the DBAB podcast.
3-2.
All right, so
3-2.
right before we went to
3-2.
our little music segue there, Cletus giving an update. Is now 3-2, so it's getting a little tense in that series. Right, we're kind of almost jumping the gun, but there's a good chance that the Astros can hold on. The Twins are going to give it everything they got, so we're going to see how this one finishes. So during the episode, if you're here, Cleet getting excited or cussing or anything like
Mad,
that,
yeah.
he's watching the Astros and the Twins in Game 4 right now. Are they playing in Houston?
In Minneapolis.
Okay, so they're in.
If they lose today,
They go back.
Friday's in Houston.
When did they switch? Now, again, this might be me just being naive or just stupid, like I always am. But I could have swore, and again, this is just me not totally forgetting or whatnot. But the wild card used to be a 1-game series, like a winner takes all, and then it used to be a typical best of 7 in the DS and ALCS. Is that correct? Is that how it used to be?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
But now it is the wild card. I guess maybe since they expanded it to 3 spots, whatever it is in the wild card, it is now a 3-game. It's the best of
3, 5,
3,
7.
5, and 7, which makes it more entertaining. Also, it makes it all that kind of stuff. So it is a little bit more baseball potentially for all of us. So,
well,
in a way,
like Minnesota right now, every available arm is pitching.
yeah, their season's on the line. They have to.
Yeah,
mean, they're going to throw the
And
kitchen sink
so
and try to bring it back to game 5, take it to game 5.
with their ace, if they go game 5, their ace is available. So they're trying to
Who is
get
their
this
ace?
thing to Houston.
It's not Bieber. No, that's Indian.
I'm not sure. I just know that the announcer's talking. He throws like 103.
Yeah.
103.
Speaking about some good pitching, last night, was it Javier last night? Man, he looked.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the game. I just saw the stats, but he looked like he was on point. And that's the thing about the Astros. They have Verlander, who's not the Verlander of old, but could still throw a gem if you need him to. You have Javier, who's I would say he's probably their best pitcher right now.
Yeah.
Then you have
Vasquez.
Vasquez, who's pretty good. So that's 3 top guys right there that are pretty
Then
good.
the guy right now, Utidi.
Yeah, he's pretty solid.
He's not bad. He does a good job. Dusty's about to pull him right now.
Mm.
He was on a
Pretty solid.
performance count.
I got you. He's usually pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. While you were gone, I just quickly, we talked about that, but then also kind of mentioned the NL side of everything right now, talking about how I believe Atlanta and Philly are tied 1-1.
Mm,
Is it 1-1 or is it?
Philly won today 10-2.
Okay, so they're up 2-1 now. 'Cause I was kind of just talking about how in game 2, how the Braves, had that double play to win the game and win it 5-4. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just again a Phillies just like last year, they just getting hot at the right time in baseball, and the Braves coming into it were probably the best team in baseball. I mean, so it's kind of a little bit of a shock to see
Well,
them down 2-1. But also the
the
Phillies
best
are a good baseball team too. So
best team usually didn't win it. It's the hottest team.
that's true. It doesn't matter if you have the most wins in baseball in the regular season or not. It does not guarantee World Series
Success.
titles or
Mm-hmm.
World Series appearances. And then on the other side, what's even more surprising is that the Arizona Diamondbacks are up 2 games at the moment. I don't know if they've played yet or if they're playing today or tonight, but they're up 2 games over the Dodgers. And I had mentioned that the Dodgers is that franchise that, yes, they won it a few years ago, but seem to be a team that I don't want to say they're overrated, but they just usually are 1 or 2 seed
It's
in the
hyped.
NL.
They're,
Yeah, and they
they're
usually don't make it. You know what I mean? Like they're very. I'll even say they're overrated in postseason. Like they can just never utilize that potential and talent they have to consistently make it. Like a team like the Astros, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like because on paper, like should be Astros and Dodgers almost every year for the last couple of years, for the most part. But
yeah. I mean, they won the one and they've been competitive in the NL, but just have never been able to.
like they can't get over the hump. They got over
Yeah.
it one time and won it. I think they've made it twice. I think they've lost the series. I think they lost. Didn't they lose to the Astros or
Mhm.
the Red Sox or something like that? And
Uh,
then they beat
they
the Rays.
they they lost to the Stros in the trash can, the sign stealing
I got you.
scandal.
But then they came back and they beat the Rays. That's when they won it. I think,
Yes.
right? When they beat the Rays. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because the Rays beat the Astros in
Yeah.
the ALCS that year.
So they've, like I said, they've made it twice, 1-1, but usually they kind of choke, if you will, and can't get past it.
Wow.
Like I said, interesting times in baseball. Obviously
Oh, no doubt.
baseball in October is always exciting. You never know what's going to happen. So we're just along for the ride, enjoying it.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, Cletus, just to kind of catch up a little bit, my man. How are things going in Lubbock? How are the Eagles doing? So
Good
y'all
man.
had a
Won a won a game we didn't think it was going to be close, where we thought we were going to roll them
Yeah.
going into it, and got up on them 22-8, and the final score was 28-21. So it was just lack of execution.
Yeah.
I mean, we fumble on the 1 yard line with our best B back. He fumbles on the 1. Freaking does that, and they go 99 yards to score.
Yeah.
So it was just.
It's one of those.
It was not a. Yeah, it wasn't. I would say a rough game. It's just execution.
Yeah.
It's like I got some of the linemen in homeroom, and we're talking about the game, and we're talking about And I asked them, says, is it them or us? Is it them or us? They go, us. So how long have we been saying we need to fix this stuff?
Right.
And one of them said, well, we've been saying it for 6 weeks. I said, yeah, eventually we got to fix it.
Yeah.
Eventually we got to fix that stuff. And I told them, so we cannot strap it on for y'all.
Yeah.
We can't strap it on and go play.
Right.
Y'all got to fix it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I guess, and of course, like y'all played a team that probably wasn't good, but they brought it. They played hard. They battle competed.
Mm-hmm.
But when that competition level increases, obviously the stuff that you're probably able to get away with, uh, you won't be able to get away with. So obviously that's why y'all keep harping on those little things because eventually it will come back to bite you if they not fix.
Well,
You know what I mean?
and one of our coaches said it perfectly the other day. We're a good football team, but we're not so good where we can not everyone one person can't make a mistake.
Yeah.
If one person doesn't do their job, we're talented, but we're not talented enough to overcome that mistake.
Right.
So we have to be perfect. Every single play, we got to be perfect and execute.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And so, you know, that's part of it. But you know, I was not very happy after the game.
Right.
But it is what it is. But we're 1-0 in district. We
Yeah.
have the
At the end of the day, it is kind of a nice feeling too that even though you weren't happy, y'all probably didn't perform to the best of your abilities, but walking off the field, that y'all were able to do enough to get the win. Obviously,
Mhm.
so you got to take that into account. It's a lot better feeling to do that and win than to do that and lose. You know what I mean,
right.
that's what we had this last week
I
uh,
I saw
for
that.
for the Greyhounds. We were playing Whitesboro, really good team, well coached team. Um, a little bit down this year compared to what they've been in the past. Talent wise and stuff. So was we kind of built this game up pretty good for our kids as a game that we needed to win. Just kind of use different motivational points for our kids. Our kids went out, they battled, they competed, they fought. Um, this was a team that we had played that the last couple of years had wiped the floor with us. You know what I mean? So, but we battled, we executed. We had a really good game plan. We were up 14-0 at half, playing good on offense, controlling the time of possession, right? Trying to limit their possession defensively. We were kind of shutting them down. Special teams was probably the best special teams we've had all year. We recovered a kickoff, not an onside, just we just poached it up and just they the ball bounced around everywhere and we got it back finally uh, in our favor. Took that momentum and went down and scored, to make it 14-0. And then third quarter, can't remember exactly, but at one point we were up 21-7. But that second half was just, we had four turnovers in the second half, and it allowed them to gain momentum. They
Hmm.
scored twice, including one. The last time they scored was a couple minutes left in the game. They got the 2-point conversion, which not to say that we want officials to dictate the game, but they kind of hosed us there with under a 2-point play. They had five guys in the backfield and weren't set, wasn't called, but by obviously we can't control that from them. Had a chance at the end to drive down 2 minutes, drove down, and then just they picked us off a little bit of a bad throw by our quarterback. But we had the game in hand to win it. We just kind of hurt ourselves with turnovers and some lack of execution down the field on both sides of the ball. So it was a very hard, bitter pill to swallow after the game Friday because just how well we played up until the point second half.
Hmm.
Kind of a
That's
lot of a
those are
lot of
always the roughest. Like
yeah,
those punches in the gut are always to me the
yeah.
roughest to come back from.
Definitely a punch in the gut, and it's kind of one of those things like hindsight 2020 after the game that we're talking about, even in the office the next day and heck, even I think yesterday we were talking about it too about just different things that could have gone If they would have gone our way, that we would have won that game, this, that, and the other. But our kids have responded well this week in practice as we prepare for Paradise, who's a top 10 team in the state for 3A D1. So we know we got another tough opponent, but we've faced plenty of them so far this year. This will be our fourth or fifth team that's ranked top 10 in the state. So, uh, definitely not an easy schedule, but something that is our kids are battle tested for. So we feel we have a really good game plan. If we go out there and execute, it's going to give us the best shot to win. But after that, our plan is just to win out, grab that fourth spot, make playoffs, be 5-5 our first year, and obviously we'd consider that a huge step in the right direction for our program. But yeah, definitely a punch in the gut Friday, and then of course on top of that, changing gears a little bit, going over to Saturday. It's just a terrible weekend for me with my football teams. You know what I mean? Starting Saturday, uh, and I'll just talk about it right off the bat because I talked to a couple people. You might know where I'm going with this, Cletus, but obviously had conversations with people with how the end of the Miami Hurricanes game went. Um, was absolutely stunned. I remember just sitting on the couch after the game, just sitting there, just couldn't believe what I had just witnessed. Uh, but for the listeners that don't know or need a little bit of a refresher, Miami didn't play well coming off a bye week, playing against Georgia Tech, who was fired up, for the game, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Miami was up 21-20, I think, give or take, something like that, or 17 or 21 to something, 20, 21-17, I think. Yeah, 21-17. Had the ball, driving to eating up the clock, third down and 10. Uh, they snapped the ball. Georgia Tech has no timeouts. They snapped the ball at 33 seconds left. You think that they would do like what every other team in America does in football when they're in that position, just kneel it out. Excuse me, but they do what they've done all year, and that's just hand it off and run the ball, which has been a
Why?
weird thing that they've done. They've done that all year. They haven't once lined up in a victory formation to kneel it out in any of their games prior.
Why? Why?
Unfortunately,
Why is Cristobal
I,
do?
I have no
What
idea.
was his explanation after the game?
He just he just he just took blame for it. You know what I mean? He didn't really go in depth about it from what I've read. He's just taking ownership of it, all that kind of stuff. But just mind-boggling that that doesn't cross their mind in a close game like that just to kneel it out. It's obviously thinking about it afterward, it's one of the dumbest coaching decisions that you will ever see uh, because they run the ball. The guy who's pretty trusty fumbles it, even though watching a replay, technically being biased, he was down. The referees don't agree. Even after the fact, the ACC comes out and says they agree with the officials' call, which, to me, being biased as a fan, I think it's BS. Anyways, fumbles the ball. They get it. And then in 4 plays, they travel 75 yards, take up 20 something seconds, and score the game winning touchdown. And Miami loses in a brutal fashion, but in a fashion that could have been completely avoided if they just simply take a knee. So, don't know. I just don't, as a coach, I just don't know how you allow that to happen. You know what I mean? Like every game I've been a part of, for the most part, whether you're up big or down big or up little or down little, it's always ended in a victory formation. Like that's just so like every coach should know that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's so frustrating about it. Like, a lot of people were just, of course, he got a lot of media attention. The
Oh, I bet.
Hurricanes were really ridiculed overall as a program. Mario was really ridiculed afterwards with the decision. But, these guys are paid X amount of dollars in the millions to do their job and do this and not for them,
To
and for them
to
not
win.
to, yeah, and for them not to be able to just do a simple thing as just to deal it. You know what I mean? It's just, I still, like, even to this day, I still can't get over the fact that that occurred and how that game ended. it ruined their season. Not ruined their season. Hopefully, it didn't ruin their season, but they're them being
Mom-
unbeaten.
well, their momentum.
Yeah, momentum, unbeaten season's
That big
gone.
8-0 win
Yeah,
kind of. I mean, it still means something, but really,
yeah,
right now, they're kind of behind the 8 ball.
yeah, and and the four previous games before that, they'd played really good football. In the past, there were some of those games that might have struggled in, or whatever the case may be. But it seemed like they were kind of turning the corner a little bit. They were dominating. They had the big win over A&M, all that kind of stuff, which is still, in my eyes, a really quality win. It's not like A&M's terrible, uh, which we'll talk about them in a second. But uh, I mean, but they have, I don't know what it is. And it was before Mario got there. It's been a problem since he's been there. It's a problem when Diaz was there. But for some reason, every time they've come out of a bye week, they have lost.
Yeah,
I just
our
I just don't know. I can't explain. I can't fathom or
I hate bye
comprehend.
weeks. I
Yeah, I
hate
agree.
bye
It takes
weeks.
it takes away momentum and all that kind of stuff. But I just don't understand how, you have 2 weeks to prepare and you come out and just don't play well. And like Tyler Van Dyke had his worst game of the season. Like he threw 3 picks and all 3 picks were just like boneheaded. Like what the are you thinking? You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't like it
Gosh.
was a good play or a tip that just happened to get picked off. It was like literally thrown into the other team like on purpose type stuff. It's absolutely
Right.
terrible. But they battled. They were able to get it to where they were in the lead, and obviously fucked that up. So that was shitty and kind of ruined my mood the rest of the
Could
day. You know what I mean? So
could be worse. It could be the University of Texas and get beat by OU, but that's beside the point.
that was a
Holy
good,
crap,
entertaining
guys!
game. Uh oh.
Fuck.
Update in the Astros game.
3-2, top of the seventh, 2 outs, no one on. Pena's up, 0-1.
Okay. It's your update for our listeners, but who will listen to this later on? You already
Yeah,
know the score. But
yeah.
anyways,
you know the result of this game.
yeah, yeah. But if you're listening to the podcast and you hadn't watched the game, there's your update. But anyways, switching gears a little bit, still in college football. There were some pretty good games on Saturday. Like Cletus mentioned, Oklahoma and Texas game was a pretty good. If you were a neutral, it was an entertaining game. Obviously, if you were on either side, it was either joyous occasion or heartbreak. So that was a good game. I'm trying to think about some of the other ones. I watched a little bit of the A&M Bama game, fell asleep,
Dude.
take a nap, and then woke up to see.
I was so mad. I was that I this happens to me once a year. I watch A&M and I let 18, 19, 20, 21 year olds dictate my mood for the day. Defensive line, defense, defensive line and front seven played really well against Alabama.
Yeah,
I think at one time they had 12 yards rushing,
yeah,
but they had 260 some yards passing.
that's your weakness. Like just
Oh my
from when
gosh!
Miami played y'all,
No,
front seven, really good.
anything over, if A&M has to defend anything over like 10 yards, it may be a completion
Yeah,
if the front seven doesn't get there
right.
or the front four does not get home. It's going to be a big play because A&M they struggle defending anything deeper than 10. It seems like I don't know why either. I don't understand why, but then offensively just lack of execution, just couldn't finish, and they talk about the fourth and like 1 or 2. Jimbo decided to punt for it late, where and so you know A&M's paying Jimbo a lot of money to win big
Right.
games, win SEC championships, win national championships, and right now it's not happening. Played A&M again, played well. They played really well that game. They had every opportunity to win that freaking game, but just Bama made Bama made just enough plays to win.
Yeah, and what's
You
probably
know,
frustrating too when you think about it, and I'm trying to, I put myself like as an A&M fan or just a neutral in general, but like obviously being able to beat Bama is something to hold your head high because of
Well,
the program and stuff. But they're not as like for me. In my
I
opinion,
think I know where you're
they're
going
not
with
as
this.
they're not. Bama is not as good as what they have been.
Yes, and
So
the
this was
West
a
is wide
great
open
yeah, and this was a great opportunity. Like this was the year to where if you're gonna go and beat a Bama or
to
beat
go
a
take the
LSU,
West.
yeah, this is the year, and that was A&M's moment and opportunity to beat a Bama team that's not as up to their standards.
Yeah,
Like
and go play in Atlanta for the first time.
yeah,
You know, right? Texas loses that same day. The momentum was if you would have beat Bama and had a freaking you're the lead guy going have a chance if you just went out to go play the SEC championship game.
right,
Crap, what does that do to your program?
yeah, absolutely.
But it's just oh my gosh, yeah, it was frustrating. It was very frustrating as an A&M fan watching that game and just opportunity after opportunity after opportunity just slip away.
Yep, I can
You
imagine.
know,
I can imagine. You know what I mean? It's just like you know, going back to the Canes, like kind of think about ACC stuff, but like Clemson's not really good, but North Carolina, Florida State are really good. And they still got to play those
hmm
cats, and like their schedule coming up is the Canes got to go play at Chapel Hill this weekend, which is gonna be tough, tough, tough. So I'm hoping for the best during the worst, based off of what happened last week. Uh, then they got to play at home against Clemson. They get Virginia, and then they play Florida State at Florida State. You know what I mean? So, and they
yeah,
also got to play Louisville, who's really good right now.
beat Notre Dame last week.
Beat Notre Dame. So, just real quick, one more thing to say about the Canes. Like coming into the year, I was kind of thinking that if they could go 8-4, 9-3, I would consider that a very successful season
Yeah,
based on what they've done previously. Just keep building momentum, win more than you lose. It's going to help out in a lot of facets of that program, recruiting, buzz, buy-in, all that kind of stuff. And then turn around and do the same thing next. Like just build your program up like that. So, when I was looking at it earlier, like say if they do lose to North Carolina, find a way to beat Clemson, and then lose to Florida State, Louisville, still possibly go 8-4. But they still have a really good chance to finish out the year with a winning record. So hopefully they can rebound and finish out the year well. And same for A&M. What's
yeah.
that? They have two losses
Tennessee.
now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got
Tennessee
10
coming up.
going to, going into Knoxville this week.
And again, they're
It's,
not as Tennessee is not as good as they were last year. So A&M
but
should,
but they play really well at home. And
yeah,
A&M in the last 7 road games in the SEC is 0-7.
that's a problem.
Yes, it is. It is a very big problem when you have to go on the road in the Southeastern Conference. So it'll
They got a
it
tough road ahead too.
they do, but that's life in the SEC.
But like you said earlier, the West is open this year. It's not
Yeah,
like there's one
Bama
like
Bama slips.
Bama slipped.
If
LSU is not that good.
I Ole Miss.
Yeah.
No, Ole Miss already beat Alabama, didn't they?
No, Bama beat Ole Miss.
Did they? Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? I don't keep up with.
No, but still, Bama still got to play the rest of their schedule, so they still got to
Well,
play
they still got
LSU,
Tennessee,
Tennessee.
LSU, Auburn.
So, yeah, you just never
Auburn is
know.
not very good, but the Iron Bowl.
Yeah,
Funny things happen in the freaking Iron Bowl.
yeah. I feel like any SEC game for the most part, anything can happen. For the most part, besides if you're playing a Vanderbilt or something like that. But
Vanderbilt's improved.
yeah, but
They're better than what
still,
they've been. But yeah,
right.
that's your win in the East.
Yeah,
Right now Florida, crap. How about Florida?
bad, not
And
very good.
we're talking about if Florida doesn't make a bowl, Napier
I think he's on the
may
hot.
get fired. Or his heat's really 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 hot.
Yeah, I think his seat gets really hot, and he gets
Do they play
one more year.
Miami? Right?
No, they will play Florida State at the end of the year, so that will be another. If they
Ooh, you
that
don't.
could
Oh,
that
you
could
don't.
really increase. the hot seat if they go to and they lose and they get blown out by Florida State. That
Yes,
could really
you could lose, but if it's a
accelerate.
close game, you can at least say, "Hey, we're getting better."
Yeah,
But if you just if you get absolutely just blown out, in oh, coaches at Florida get fired because they don't beat Florida State.
yep, yep. Hey, so let me pull it up here. We're gonna do our. We've only done it one time, but this is gonna be our usual thing here, Cleveland. This is just you and I. I'm gonna pull up the weekend schedule. We're gonna run through and we're gonna make our picks here.
Oh, you know what starts the other? Is it tonight? Tomorrow?
But
Unfortunately, it's the NBA, but whatever. Is it the NBA starts? No, no, they're
oh,
not
they're in
coming.
preseason. And the
Oh,
NHL
that's right.
started.
NHL. I'm sorry. The NHL started last night.
I think it started. I think opening night was last.
Yeah. Yes, because I watched the Golden Knights their banner ceremony yesterday before the game.
But this was the week. Oh, yeah. This is the first week where, for college football at least, where games start on Tuesday and we have a game every day.
Oh yeah. Is this that time of year where
Yep.
we get
There were,
football like almost every single day?
yeah, because last
Do we
night
have
there were 3 games. There's 2 games tonight. There's 2 games
do we
tomorrow.
have
3 on
action?
Friday.
Do we have action going on right now?
We got UTEP and Florida International right now, and Sam Houston and New Mexico State.
No action. We gotta get some action going on, man.
I don't
Those
think
are you remember that when the Macs started playing like on Wednesdays,
yeah,
Tuesday? That was always great. You
yeah,
get
it was
some
entertaining.
action going on. You get some action going on. You get like Buffalo and like Bowling Green.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at the schedule. I don't see any MAC playing,
Wow, that's a
but they
little
got they
disappointing.
got all conferences spread out. Like obviously you got some of the smaller group of 5 tonight, and tomorrow, Thursday. You got Houston, West Virginia, SMU, East Carolina are playing. Friday, Tulane, Miss and Memphis, Fresno State, Utah State, Stanford, Colorado. Friday, and of course Saturday. Let's run through this real quick. Let's go through some of the bigger games here. Texas Tech,
Ooh.
Kansas State. They got Tech.
Oh, Tech and K State.
Of course, you got.
Oh, hey,
Uh,
y'all have any more Thursday games coming down the pipe
nah,
for
we only
Easter?
had the one at the beginning of the year.
We got another one.
Coming up,
End of the year.
I'm kind of like we've talked about it before. The Thursday night games, like I like them, but then I don't like them. You know what I mean? Like there's some pros to
Well,
it, and there's some cons to it. So
like for what we do, less time to prepare.
right, yeah, it's beneficial for y'all when teams trying to prepare for y'all. It also helps give you somewhat of an open day on the weekend. Like usually that
Well,
Sunday
you can go scout. So we don't work on Sundays, but you can go scout Friday. So that's what we did last Friday, or yeah, last Friday is half of us went to Idlew, Abernathy, the other half of us went to Littlefield, Kahoma, watched and scouted a little bit.
where'd you go, Steve?
Littlefield, Kahoma.
How was that?
Littlefield's not bad.
Yeah.
They do some really good things. They're fast, athletic. They do a good job of flying the football. Do a good job throwing the football, catching the football. So they're good.
Who
They
was
do a good job.
who if you had to say right now besides Roosevelt, who's the team in your district that you feel like, hey, they're the top dog? Idlew.
Idlew, they play some really good people. They're good. Idlew's really good. I think Littlefield's pretty good too. They're a lot better than what I thought.
Right.
You know, where you're seeing scores, you're like, I don't know. Then watch them live. They're 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 really good at what they do. They're really opportunistic. Like you make a mistake, they take advantage of it. And so, it's I would say probably those two teams. Abernathy's down, but they're still good. They're still Abernathy. Those kids are going to play hard. And Kahoma is pretty athletic, so our district's pretty wide open. Honestly, just the big thing is you can't get fourth
Right.
because you get the Wildcats of Canadian if you get fourth place
Yeah.
in our district.
Avoid that as possible.
Yes, you want to avoid that matchup as long as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Just they're on tear right now. Anyway,
Agreed.
switching back to college football real quick. Let's just go through here. So obviously it has it pulled up here. So Miami, North Carolina, they're playing in Chapel
Drop it.
Hill.
Fuck.
Tar Heels are 3.5 point favorites. Uh, obviously, I love my Canes, but I'm nervous. I have a feeling that they're just going to be.
You can't let that loss beat you twice.
Yeah, but
That's the
I'm
big
kind of
thing.
hoping in the back of my mind that Miami can have one of those old school performances. Will they go there and dominate? They will, which I think they have the ability to. It's just if they Georgia plays Vanderbilt. They're 31.5 point favorites. Michigan, Indiana. Michigan is 33.5 point favorites. Ohio State, Purdue, Florida State, Syracuse, Arkansas, and Alabama are playing each other this week. That could be a possible game to where,
Well, Arkansas is so bad up front. Alabama's going to eat their freaking lunch.
yeah, true. It's not the Arkansas that has
They're so bad up front.
going down the list here. There's some other obviously ranked teams that are playing, but they're not really playing anybody.
Oregon, Washington is this week, I think.
Yep, as well. Just
That's
that
gonna
was
be.
my
I think
next.
that's gonna be a good game.
It's at 2:30. Kind of wish that the game was a little bit later, but have it be more of a night
God,
game. But
freaking A.
uh-oh. Update.
Still 3-2. Altuve's up. 1-2. One out. He is over 3. He is 0 for 3 tonight, and he's 4 of 16 for the series.
Yeah, he hasn't played well because I haven't
God
heard his name.
dang. Pop up. Motherfucker.
Struggling, but hey, when you need that little man to produce somehow,
Oh,
some
no doubt.
way,
I would take again. You give me him a chance to swing the baseball bat. I will take Jose Altuve
absolutely,
swinging that
absolutely.
shit.
Like you said earlier, A&M plays in Tennessee. Tennessee is 3 point
Hmm.
favorites. Let me see. Going down the list here.
I'll say this. I'll take A&M and the points because I think A&M covers.
Yeah,
If
it's pretty
Tennessee beat
close.
if Tennessee beats them, it's gonna be like 2 or less
Yeah.
or 3 or less,
I
which
can
I
see.
think. So I think A&M is going to cover that one, and I'll hammer the
Oh yeah, I could definitely see
under
that either.
55 and a half or 56.
Let me see.
Hammer the under.
Let me see. The under
Yes. Yes, I'm a
55
degenerate. 50. Oh, 55.
over and under.
Ooh, come on, Brady. Shit.
I would take the under 55
Yeah.
unless it's an. I
50.
don't think I
I
don't
like
think those teams are
I
going to be
like
in a
50.
shootout.
I like 56 a little better, but that's just me.
Yeah,
Come on,
I think
Brady.
they'll be. I think they'll hit the under on that one.
Jammed him.
LSU and Auburn are playing another good one at later at 6:30. We got USC and Notre Dame, which I feel like Notre Dame for the last 3 or 4 weeks has played very tough schedule.
Yeah, they always do though, man. That's the that's the benefit when you are not in a conference. You can kind of make your schedule how you want to make it.
So that should be a good game. They got Notre Dame favored by 3 points. Let's see what the over is. I can
USC's
see a lot of
defense is
points. No,
SC's defense is awful.
yes, and I can see this. The over and under is 59. I'm gonna take the over.
I may hammer the over on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over.
Oh, get up,
Kentucky,
go,
Missouri,
son of a bitch.
pop out, fly out.
Fuck.
Then
Top
we
50,
have UCLA and Oregon State.
bottom of the eighth.
It's a pretty interesting matchup. Not too many
No,
big
this
games.
this week is not just who's the night game this week? Is it USC Notre Dame?
That's one of them at 6:30, and then you had
Who's the 7 o'clock game?
7 o'clock game. We got UCLA and Oregon State on Fox.
Eh, I think the USC one on what's the other one?
NBC/Peacock.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because freaking Notre Dame.
The other night one at 6 would be LSU and Auburn on ESPN.
I don't know. LSU's not very good. Auburn's awful.
Other than that, like the other late game is Duke and North Carolina State. So ACC Network.
I think this week the 2:30 games are going to be the better ones.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, like I said, Oregon, Washington are playing. A&M, Tennessee are playing. Kansas, Oklahoma State, which would be an okay Big
Mm-hmm.
12 game. Uh,
Tech K State is at 2:30, I think, or is that 11?
6 o'clock
Oh, that's 6 o'clock game. That may not be bad.
and love it. Anywho, so that's college football. So we obviously some exciting matchups, not too many though.
Yeah,
I'll definitely be watching somewhere, probably drinking a lot, depending on how the game's going, with
yeah,
the game or whatnot. Let's talk about NFL because this past Sunday was I did win fantasy this week, so it was pretty good. I was excited
you
about that.
did.
I
I
did win
did not.
fantasy.
I scored the lowest in the league this
Mm,
week.
it's one of those
That's
weeks.
always. Oh, dude, it was awful. I could not buy a fucking point.
I'm frustrated fantasy wise because
Y'all's
I
league's weird though, too, man.
yeah, point wise it's weird, but usually I do a really good job of picking up players after the first week or two that are kind of the guys that are GoDaddies. You know what I mean? That nobody drafts
Devon,
because they don't think about
Devon
it.
Chain.
Yes, I picked up him for the Dolphins in the last couple of weeks.
IR. He's on the fucking IR.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks he's been balling out for me, and then of course he gets hurt. Now he's in IR, so now that screws up my
Justin
team a little bit.
Jefferson, IR.
Yep, that's just so I'm predicted to lose this week. I have a pretty solid team. If my quarterbacks produce, I usually can. I'll be in it, but we'll see. I got
Who's
Kirk
your
Cousins and Sam Howell this week. I used to have Mac Jones, who did all right, and then he's been poo poo. And then I picked up Daniel Jones, but you just never know where you're going to get. And they're playing Buffalo this week, so I'm like, we're not going to.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
So, anyways, but last week NFL wise, I thought there were some pretty good games that went on. Obviously, Thursday night, I was really surprised that the Bears beat the crap out of the Commanders 40-20.
Oh my
I was really
gosh! Like
surprised there.
yes, it's like the Bears just decided to. Okay, we're going to be good at football this week.
Yeah, and like last week was like we do that pick 'em obviously with
Mm-hmm.
Jack's buddy. I totally forgot. We got all talking about stuff, but shout out to the Terrell Tigers. They went out and got that dub last week.
And a close one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they won 28-21
Good,
over Denison or whatever
good
they
for
are.
T. Yeah, good for
So
T Town.
they got that dub.
Homecoming this
Shout out.
week.
I think so.
I hate
Another
homecoming.
big game. Another big game for them this week. But shout out to the Terrell Tigers. Shout out to Jack and Cobbs of getting the dub and keep that
Choo choo
T
train
Town
rolling.
T Town choo choo train rolling, my boys. Right. So they're shout out to those boys. Uh, but yeah, we do that pick'em thing, and last week was the worst week I've had. So whoever the guys is second now, he's closed the gap. I'm up by like 2 or 4 points right now, so I gotta
The
really
I know
step my
this.
game up
The
this week
two
to pick
week
up.
the 2 weeks I forgot about it hurt me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, unless you start to nail it, that's the only way you can kind of catch up. But
Yeah.
and then on Sunday, I was a bit surprised with the Bills with their lackluster performance against the Jags in London, but it's kind of what you would expect. They kind of had that big win over the Dolphins the week prior. They had to travel across. I think they got there late from what I was listening to on the broadcast. So the Jags kind of took advantage of a lackluster Bills. Um, Surprised that the Falcons were beat the Texans. The Lions did their thing. The Panthers are probably one of the worst teams in football. Uh, Colts got the dub over the Titans. I'm sure you weren't very happy, especially after
And
Richardson got knocked out.
Anthony Richardson got hurt again.
Yeah, I think great
I
player, just
just
injury prone.
he's we don't know if he's going to be a great player. He's young.
For what he's
Again,
done this
it's
season, he's been good
yeah.
for them.
Well, it's what we talked about last week, or was it last week? 2 weeks ago, where when you've played the game a certain way your whole life,
Yeah,
then you go to the NFL and you try to play that same way,
yeah,
and
different
everyone's
story.
bigger, faster, and stronger than what you've
Right.
been used to.
Yeah.
You just got to be smart in what you do. You
Yeah.
know.
Some of it's unlucky, but yeah, definitely the way you play has got to change a little bit in the NFL. The Dolphins right to ship against the Giants, who are another team that are not very good compared to what they were last year. The Saints going into New Orleans and giving Bill Belichick his worst, I think it was his worst home loss as a
Hmm.
Patriots head coach, beating them 34-0. I was surprised with that. Surprised with how poorly Mac Jones and the offense has produced back-to-back games now where he's been pulled. Uh, they've
For
just been
Zappy.
atrocious. Yeah, it's been atrocious for them. Not that I feel sorry for him, but just kind of seeing it. Ravens getting a big old win. I mean, excuse me, the Steelers getting a big win over the Ravens. Steelers aren't necessarily that good. Are the Bengals back to being the Bengals? That's a good question. They beat the Cardinals 34-20, but they've kind of shown flashes, but then we'll
Yeah.
revert to how they've been playing this year, which is not very good. So
They
interesting to see
go
that.
they go how Joe Burrow goes and Jamar Chase.
Hey, I mean, they go through
Once
those.
Jamar Chase says I'm always effing open or freaking open,
Yeah,
he was always open.
that's true. He does find a way to get open,
Give
and
it.
Burrow usually hits
Yep.
him. So that's good for them to get back on track. We'll see if they can continue that success.
Oh,
Um, man, this is looking worse and worse every week because they were my dark horse team to make playoffs, but the Broncos
they're
are
awful.
a mess.
They are not very good at football.
Not very good. The
Is it?
Jets came in and beat them 31-21. So Nathaniel Hackett was able to come into Denver and get a little bit of revenge after all the trash talk and what happened last year. Uh,
They need to throw
apparently, I
Garrett.
saw the crazy. Did I send it in the group chat about the crazy stat about the Broncos this year about playing former like head coaches and stuff? Like,
Mm-mm.
let me look. Oh, I'll be able to tell you when I see their schedule. But it was something, and some of our listeners may or may not have already seen this or whatnot. All right, so they lost to the Raiders at the beginning of the year. So the Raiders head coach is McDaniels, former Broncos head coach.
Mm-mm.
Then they lost to the Commanders. Forgot the connection there. I
Did
think
Rivera?
it was I think one of his coordinators or something was like a former head coach or something like that. They lose to the Dolphins, who like
Let's go.
they lose to the Dolphins, right, in that 70-20
One
game.
more. One more inning.
One more inning. Not let's go, but they lose to the Dolphins, who their head coach was a ball boy, used to be for uh, the the Broncos. The Bears, I think it was their DC, uh, Fangio. He's at one of those.
Yeah.
He's either in Washington or Chicago or something like that as a DC or something like that. Obviously, he used to be the former head coach there, and then of course the Jets with Nathaniel Hackett. So like uh, these last 5 weeks or whatever, I mean, they've lost to guys that were formerly employed by the Broncos. The Chiefs scrape one out over the Vikings, and then of course Sunday Night Football. All that build up for the
Uh,
49ers and Cowboys, and the 49ers let the league know that they are the alpha dog. And the Cowboys, no offense to my boy Jack,
no. Full offense.
absolutely,
Full offense.
absolutely look like little chumps against the 49ers. It was
So bad.
embarrassing. If I was a Cowboys fan, that was embarrassing.
Oh, I got a few Cowboys fans on my Snapchat besides Jack. And I have a few 49er fans on my Snapchat besides Jack. And one 49er fan and one Cowboy fan are married.
Mm.
And so whenever those two teams play, it is they don't talk to each other for like a week.
Oh, I bet. Especially, they probably haven't talked to each other this week so far after that ass whooping. And that game was never close. There was never a
Oh
point in
no,
that game where it was close.
it was bad.
Yeah, it's just, the
It was
49ers, the 49ers from top to bottom are probably the best constructed team in football right
yes, they're the best roster in football.
now. Best.
It's going to
Defense
be
is
not
solid,
Niners
offense is solid.
Chiefs. Niners Chiefs. I
I
think.
don't even think the Chiefs
That's,
right now could beat them.
yeah, they're the Niners are they're playing well, and
Especially when they're
if
in the
everyone can
mood. If you know what I mean, like when they're in the mood,
if
nobody can stop
everyone
them.
can stay healthy,
You're right.
if
That's obviously.
everyone can stay healthy for the Niners, they're going to be really hard to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be obviously as a Rams fan, I've seen that because obviously they've beaten the Rams the last 9 times they've played in the regular season. Uh, so their game was somewhat close when they played, but still they just do good. And of course the Raiders beat the Packers on Monday night, which was somewhat of a boring game to watch. But always when you're watching it in the Manning cast, they make it entertaining.
Oh, that is the best thing ESPN's done for Monday Night
Oh,
Football is the Manning
absolutely.
cast. They
Uh,
need to keep the Manning cast rolling for
yeah,
whatever you got to pay Eli and Peyton, pay them
yes.
because
They
it's
need
so
to make
much
the
better.
Manning they need to make the Manning cast the official Monday night broadcast.
It's so much better than the regular broadcast with Joe Buck and who the hell else it is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's entertaining. The guests they come on there. I was cracking up this last Monday because they like one of the new things they do is when they have the celebrities coming in, they have the celebrities kind of predict
The
the
drive,
play,
how they score.
right? And
Yes,
he like comes with
the
a cutout head of Peyton, and he's got a
his
big ass
foreheads and
forehead. I was freaking rolling in the living
uh,
room. I was dying.
those two you could tell like the
What happened?
fuck Jordan. Why fucking swing at that shit?
Because Jordan.
Why the fuck do you? I get we pay you to hit fucking home runs. That bitch was in the fucking dirt. Fuck, man.
Hey, it's either
We gotta
boom or
get some.
bust from him,
We
man.
gotta get some fucking insurance runs right now.
It's boom or bust for Alvarez. You know what I mean? It's boom or
Oh,
bust.
I agree, but damn, we need motherfucker 2 outs on 4 pitches. Sorry, go on. My bad.
No, you're good.
The fan in me is taking over.
No, you're good. I was looking at a text message
Come on,
that
Bray, you.
a fellow Yankee fan sent to me, and it was something about Harper, Bryce Harper, and how he's just tearing it up, all that stuff for the Phillies.
I hate the Phillies.
It's just
Like
kind
I
of talking about Harp. It's talking about Harper because like the Yankees had a chance to
sign him.
sign him, and they didn't want to for whatever reason, whatever stupid ass bullshit excuse they said. Of
Too
course,
much money. Too
now he's
much money.
turning it around and helping the Phillies probably go back to another World Series. So it's just great.
I just like all those teams in the Northeast can go suck a fat duck. The Phillies, the Yankees, the Red Sox. Really, those three. Those three teams can go suck a fat duck. I hate those three teams.
Well, that's okay because obviously we don't like that. It's mutual.
Well, I don't know. Oh, come on, Bray, you. Let's go. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Freaking it. Sorry, I'm like locked in right now. This at bat with a Bray.
No, that's okay. It's hey, we told everybody if they're
I'm
listening or
freaking
watching,
locked
we've
in.
said that there's gonna be random interjections because you are
Motherfucker.
live. There he goes. He's live
0-2.
watching the Astros right now. So
0-2, 2 outs.
you're getting to see Cletus in
Top
his
of the ninth.
natural habitat watching the Astros.
I don't get like fanboy very much. I honestly don't. Not anymore.
Right.
When I was younger, I used to be bad. I used to let like teams just ruin my day.
Yeah.
And now, like I
don't try to get like that, but Saturday I did.
but my thing with the Astros, when your team sucked for 10 years, then you're good again and you're winning world titles. It's nice. It's fun being that fan that got to stick with your team through the suck. It's like I told someone last year. Said I waited through the suck for the Astros. I get to enjoy these World Series championships and these
that's the
ALCS
fun
runs.
part, and that's the fun part when you're a true fan of an organization. That when you go through them, through the lows,
Freaking A,
and then you
yes.
get to see the highs. Because even being a Rams fan, and a lot of people give me shit for that, whatever. But like I've been a Rams fan for the last 20+ years. It's not like it's been the last 3. You know what I mean? So,
Fuck.
obviously when I first started watching the Rams,
Damn it, Brantley. All right, bottom of the ninth. Fucking A.
let's go.
Bottom of the fucking ninth.
Bring
We
in the
got it.
closer.
Presley is up. He's going to close this bitch out. Daddy's coming, fucking Rangers.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, like I was saying about the Rams, so like obviously when I first started supporting them,
Hmm.
it was off the tail end of the Greatest Show on Turf years. And then they had some solid years with Mark Bolger and Steven Jackson, and then they just went downhill. Worst team in football for a long time, and then now obviously they're pretty consistent. Obviously winning the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So
Have you ever? Is there a team growing up for you that all they did was win?
mm,
Growing up, and
think.
now you're waiting to the suck. Because I'm experiencing that with
Uh,
with my
it's
basketball team.
Yeah. Let me say like so. I'll go through, and of course y'all, like the group knows like all my favorite teams. So like obviously the Yankees. So like when I first started watching, like truly watching baseball as a kid, and stuff,
Was
the
that
Yankees
the?
they were coming out of their dynasty. Like it was around like the time
Oh, okay. So
they lost to the Diamondbacks in '01.
you didn't get experience like the dynasty,
No, and I'll be honest. I'm not gonna say like yeah I was watching. I wasn't like I truly like because I was about 9 or 10 years old. Like when I was first starting to get into
right?
actually watching sports, and that was the year that they lost to the Diamondbacks in '01. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then since then, obviously they've been to one World Series. Got to watch that, but the rest of the time it's been nothing but disappointment. Um, I would say, the Miami Heat have had success. Obviously, they won a
True.
title with Shaq. They won their couple with LeBron and them. They've been to two finals the last 2, 3, or 4 years. So they've been kind of consistent, but they've had their years where they were not very good.
Awful.
Like after Shaq, they were very terrible. After LeBron and them, they were terrible. Um, but they've kind of rebounded and rebuilt pretty quickly to be relevant again. So they're usually pretty consistent. Uh, the Rams, like we've talked about for most of the 2000s, they've been terrible. Only recently, only the last 4 years, 5 years since McVay's been there, that they've been
Yeah. Got
consistently
Super Bowl.
good. Yeah,
Got
they got a
Super Bowl
Super
out of
Bowl. I
it.
got to see that. Be excited about that, but not consistent
Right.
compared to like their rivals. I always feel like my teams that I like, it's like when I've been watching them, it's been like their main rivals been consistent.
Right. See, I'm experiencing the suck right now with like the Spurs.
Yeah,
Is growing up, 99 that I remember here's the funny thing about like my sports fandom. Like 99, I remember watching the Stars win the Stanley Cup. Then like the next week, next and that then or the next month watching the Spurs win their first title.
right.
Like I remember that. And Spurs fans my age, all we knew was, 5 championships and the most consistent dynasty in sports history, you know, and
Yeah,
just winning and not, the fans older than me, like in their mid 30s, 40s, they had to wait through the suck of like Rodman get hurt, drafting Duncan. I mean, just
right.
the Spurs not being what they shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And it, like I'm sure it was really
Swing
good
at that
being a
bitch. Come on.
Spurs fan, all that kind of stuff, whatever. And then having that long period of time where they were really good, and then now
Hmm.
having to come back to reality, if you will, in terms of
Yeah, I mean,
being everybody else.
and we'll see with this new kid with Wimby and see if he can get this.
Elevate them back. Yeah,
Yeah, he just or at least give him back to the playoffs and get him go.
yeah,
Trying to be competitive again.
right.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying to
absolutely.
win a freaking title. Just be fucking competitive.
Yeah,
Don't be embarrassing.
yeah, absolutely. Let me think here. The rest of it. So obviously the Hurricanes have been terrible since 2001. I remember watching the 2001 national championship game when they lost to Ohio State. Remember watching that one.
Oh, first rally hat I've seen.
Okay.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
first
No, you're watching
first
it live.
rally first rally hat I've seen. Oh, two rally hats now. 3-2, no outs.
Okay, 3-2. Wow.
He's
MLB
out.
update.
Two more outs.
One out. 2 outs to go. Okay. So continuing on here. So the Canes have been terrible for the last 20 years or so.
Oh, A&M's
Um,
been awful. I understand that one.
yeah.
I understand
Uh,
that.
being a Tar Heels fan has had its moment. They've won a couple of
You're a
national
Tar Heels
championships.
fan?
Yeah,
That makes no sense to me.
I know. Oh, they're all over the place.
I've never understood a person. I like Auburn football, but I love Kansas basketball. That makes no
Yeah,
fucking sense.
it's really
If you're
ironic,
To me, if
and
you're a fan of a university, be
yeah,
a fan of that university all the way
I
through.
yeah, I understand that, and I've caught a lot of grief for that, especially since I love the Canes and I love the Tar Heels, and they're both in the same conference. So like when they play each other in other sports, it's kind of like it's weird. But a lot of my teams that I like have been influences from when I was younger. So
That makes
um,
sense.
the Rams, I would say, would probably be the only team that has come across that. If I
Hey
ask,
Nash. Fuck, Presley.
the
That was
yeah,
bad. He spiked that bitch.
that's fine.
Like 5 foot in front of the plate, spiked that bitch in the turf.
You're going pitch to everybody listening or will listen. Cletus is literally going pitch by pitch with his emotions right now. So
Fuck,
uh,
man. He
I don't.
spiked that bitch.
Yeah, the Rams affiliation. I don't know where that began. It was. I remember
Your
growing up.
dad?
I was no. He's a Dolphins guy.
Really?
I
That's
remember I remember growing
interesting.
up. I'll talk about his thing here in a second. But like growing up, obviously my mom and all them growing up was a Cowboys fan. But just I would say around that same time, 2000, 2001, forever the case. I just kind of like, if you will, defected, if you will, and just kind of just found my team,
Yeah.
which happened to be the
Hey,
Rams. You know what I mean?
I
So
I get that because I'm a Titans fan. Originally, why I was an Oilers fan.
right,
My dad, big Cowboys fan. I fucking hate the Cowboys.
yeah. So again, I just some of those things, you're just kids and you just happen to find a team and latch onto it
Mm-hmm.
and go from there.
You like the colors. You
Yeah,
like the helmet. I mean,
or the
it can be
players.
simple. The
Yeah,
players.
yeah. Like I
Me,
was a big Corey Holt fan, and Steven Jackson. I love those guys.
you know,
Watching them,
fuck Presley, get your fucking shit together.
that's one of my favorite phrases. Um, and then the Miami teams I like the Heat and the Hurricanes, that was influenced from my dad. Because when he was growing up in Barbados, like the only like things they got to watch were like Miami based teams. That's why he's a
Right.
Dolphins fan and all that stuff. So like,
I mean, it makes sense. It's like those guys who are like in their 50s, they're Braves fans. Why?
yeah,
Because TBS was one of the three channels you got.
right,
And who's on TBS every week?
great,
The Braves. And so people grew up Braves fans. That's why there's Braves fans all over the country
right,
because of TBS. Because TBS again was one of the three channels you got, five channels you got.
right.
So
And
you
the
just
same,
watch.
yeah. And a lot of times, when I truly think about when I truly started to become a fan for my team, it's all around the time frame of like 2000, 2001. Because that's when I started becoming a Yankee fan. And that could be another like, because we were living in Arizona at the time, which is ironic. That's when Arizona beat the Yankees. But I just remember watching that series. For some reason, it just kind of stuck hold for the Yankees and whatnot. Not even knowing the
Like
history.
history.
Yeah, not knowing that they had won 25 titles at that time or anything like that. It was just, I really liked Derek Jeter. Thought he was a great player and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of stuck. You know what I mean?
Down, get it
Whatnot.
down. Fuck.
So,
Sorry.
no, you're good.
1, 2 outs. We need one more fucking out. One more out.
One more out. So I'm pretty sure. So just to get everybody forewarning,
Oh my
if Cletus
god.
starts to go uh,
Oh,
crazy in a positive way, it's probably because the Astros have closed it out. If he goes ballistic in the negative way, they messed up somehow.
we're about to walk this bitch, and Correa's up to bat after him. Fuck me, man.
Oh, imagine that former Astro. Ooh.
Ooh, 3-2.
Ooh. Season is on the line for the Twins. Who's at the plate?
Kelper. He's 0 for 3 today. It's Kelper then Correa.
Mm,
Correa's 0 for 3 today too.
yeah, but he can turn it on
I
anytime.
know he can freaking change the damn game with one swing. Oh shit, man. Sorry. I know this is great podcasting.
All right.
Yeah, let's go.
There he goes. There it
Daddy's
is.
coming, Rangers. Daddy's coming.
That- Well, not let's go, but happy for you, Clete. I can't wait to watch the Rangers and the Astros and the ALCS. That should be really.
All right.
You relieved now?
Oh yeah, I'm fine now. I'm good.
We can get back to making some good
Yes.
podcast here.
Yeah. This last like 15 minutes have been awful. Just because
Oh,
I'm like edge of my seat.
you're going pitch by pitch, and that's the thing about baseball. It's almost like basketball. It's like bat by basket. You know what I mean? So all that.
You're like just right on the edge of your freaking seat.
Yeah, that's what's fun about being a fan sometimes. So it's
Oh yeah.
living through all that.
And
But
guess who we get game one to pitch against the Rangers?
Verlander,
Justin Verlander.
wonder who
We
the
get
Rangers.
Verlander. I bet I wouldn't be shocked if they throw Scherzer.
I don't know.
No, well, he's just coming off the injury though, right?
Yeah, I think it would
Well,
be
hell,
smart for him to throw him in the bullpen.
they're starting pitching this last wild card. These last two series have been good. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like kind of what Jack said um, in the group text the other day. Is they were talking about how bad the Rangers starting pitching was, and the last two series that weakness has become a strength for the Rangers.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
On top of the 1 through 9 for the Rangers is they're deadly. They can rack up some runs for sure.
Yeah, they've been playing pretty well. They've been really good at the plate. But they made two really good deadline deals to bring in Montgomery and Evaldi, who have been really good for them. So that's two plus they got a Dunny or something like that. That's another
Yes.
starter guy that's
Well,
pretty
we
good.
were talking about this in the office. Because I asked the question to some of our older coaches, when was the last time Texas and Houston were good at the same time? And their answer was they can't remember. Because usually when Houston's up, Texas is awful, and when Texas is really good, Houston's awful. So they're never really good at the same time. And when Houston and Texas were decent, Houston was in the NL.
Right.
And so, now both teams in Texas are, which if you think about it, that's not great for the MLB. Just because it's outside Texas, who's going to watch that series now?
Right.
So I don't know. It's sports.
Amen.
Freaking sports.
Sports are the life and death of everybody.
Oh my gosh.
They bring you a lot of joy and they bring you a lot of heartache. But for some reason, we just keep tuning back into it to watch it, to see what magic's going to happen.
No doubt, man. You got anything else, Josh?
Nah, I was just kind of going through, like the question you asked, just trying to think about it more. Uh, the question you asked about teams and success and stuff. They've all kind of been ebb and flow, had their moments, had their down moments. I would say, and again, you probably wouldn't know much about it because it's soccer related, but my favorite soccer team has been probably the most consistent, at least for the last decade. But at the same time, they're kind of like the New York Yankees of European soccer, but they've consistently been the New York Yankees, like going out and buy people, all this stuff. They haven't been trying to avoid the tax threshold or any other bullshit.
Well, and I was talking to a buddy of mine a couple years ago about like the Spurs. Like when I was growing up, you had the '05 Astros that went to the World Series, got swept by the White Sox.
Yeah.
But after that, that's when they were sucking. Well, the only consistent winner I've ever been rooting for has been the Spurs.
Right.
And so, is what it is. But I really don't watch the NBA anymore. I can't freaking stand the NBA.
I don't watch, and I'll be honest, like baseball, for baseball season, every once in a while I'll watch games. You know what I mean? Like
Playoffs,
This
though, you.
this year I didn't watch as many regular season games because it was more frustrating to turn on and watch the Yankees play
Hmm.
compared to just not watching them play. Uh, but yeah, definitely baseball. Playoff baseball is entertaining to watch, even if you're neutral or your team's in it. Uh, NBA was. I just feel like NBA is like, all right, let's just fast forward through all this, and then
Right.
I'll watch. I'll
Let's
watch.
let's get to the summertime and playoff basketball.
Yeah, I watch NBA. I watch playoff basketball. I'll
I
watch
don't.
NBA playoff basketball.
I
Now
can.
I don't watch every game, but if the Heat make it, of course I'll watch the Heat on their run
Yeah.
or anything like that.
And see, I'm the same way. Like once the Spurs get beat, I stop watching. I stop
Yeah,
caring about. If the Spurs are in it, I'll probably watch because I'm a fan. Because I'm a Spurs
I don't
fan.
mind. It's still because at that point in the year, there's nothing really else to watch for the most part. So I
Hockey.
usually just kind of
I usually just watch hockey. Hockey
yeah.
gets me through basketball.
I can't wait for
Honestly,
this year for hockey because living closer to Dallas now, that I'm excited to be able to go to some Stars games,
go to
actually
a few
go
games.
watch
Hell
it
yeah.
live. That'll be exciting and fun.
Hell yeah. That'll be
And
fun.
whatnot. Football is probably the only sport where I'll go and watch when it's playoff time. That I'll watch as many games like NFL football. You know what I mean? For the most part, I'll watch those because there's not as many. So um,
Yeah. And I'm telling you, man, this YouTube TV has been the best. The NFL Sunday Ticket has been one of the best things I've bought. And the YouTube TV has been one of the best things I've bought for the four screens.
yeah, I bet that's awesome,
Watch four
especially on
different
Saturdays.
games. Oh
Yeah,
my
especially on the
gosh. I
weekends. I
can,
bet it's
again, like I told you, the only thing I wish is I could pick my games. That's
right.
the only thing I wish YouTube would let us do. But besides that, it's freaking, you can watch four games at once. I just I just put the sound on one of the games I want to listen to
Yeah,
and go, or to listen to music and watch football.
right.
So not a bad deal.
No, not a bad deal at all. But anyways, outside of sports, how's everything going with
Good
the
man.
missus?
It's going good.
Good,
It's going freaking good,
good,
man.
good,
Cannot complain.
good. I'm glad to hear
Cannot
that.
complain, bro. It's going good. We're blowing and going. I actually need to go freaking give her the how to get my district pass to go scout last week. So I got to give her the district pass back. I do like FIU's Miami Vice uniforms. That's weird.
Yeah,
I don't. That's weird,
yeah.
but
I
I don't
think they're
mind
better.
them.
They're better than the Hurricanes
The
jerseys.
Hurricanes one was weird with like the neon green.
Yeah, and another thing too that I've noticed, or whatever, obviously, but every time they do something like alternative jersey wise, they lose.
I like. You remember when Nike did the Vapor series of
Hmm.
jerseys, the black. Miami went to all black.
Yes.
That was a good look, I thought, for
Yeah.
Miami.
So I think it was the last year. It might have been the last year that they were with Nike. They had some alternatives come out that looked sweet. They had the all black, and maybe I think the U logo was orange or something like that. Those were sweet. They had an all white, even a white helmet with like a gray or like metallic silver U logo.
Hmm.
They lost to Cincinnati.
That's about right.
That was the Al Golden year. But
The
they've had some pretty good looking alternatives. But recently they have been stay with their traditional orange and
uh,
white or
I love Saban's response to um, jersey, like the
yeah. I've heard
different
that.
combos.
Yeah,
The we wear red jersey, crimson jerseys, and white pants at home, and white jerseys and white pants on the road.
yep. Stay
If you care
traditional.
about that stuff, don't come to Alabama.
Yep, I agree. I agree. Now every once in a while it's not fine. Like you're doing it all the time. It just depends on who you are. If you're the type of person where you like that stuff, then so be it. Some people are a little bit more traditional. I think every once in a while it's kind of fun to mix it up
The,
for the
yeah,
kids.
but there's a few helmets and looks you don't mess with.
No, I
I
agree.
think I hate Texas, but
Uh,
you don't mess with the white helmet with the burnt orange longhorn.
no, no, no,
You
no.
know, Michigan, don't mess with that look.
Uh oh.
What?
Bottom of the third, Arizona Diamondbacks 4, Los Angeles Dodgers nothing. All four
Ooh,
runs have come in the bottom of the third.
come on, D-backs. I hate the Dodgers.
Oh, there's your former Astro there for the Diamondback,
Who?
Uriel.
Oh, Yuri.
Uriel.
Are you sure it's not his brother?
It's Uriel Jr.
Yeah, that's Yuri. Uriel.
Yeah.
I think his brother plays for Toronto.
Oh, that's I reckon.
He
I
has a
thought he was
younger
still an
brother
Astro.
that plays. No, they released him.
I got you. Oh no, this
His
one's not. This one is another one because this one played for the Blue Jays and now he's with the Diamondbacks.
okay. That's the younger brother.
Oh, okay.
That's younger brother. There's a
Oh
few
wow.
there's a few
So
siblings.
it's Lance. Is that Lance Lynn? Yep, Lance Lynn's on the mound for the Dodgers, giving up 6 hit, 4 earned runs. So here's all the runs for the Diamondbacks: home run, home run, home run, home run, all solo shots.
That's tough, man. That is tough.
Mm, be interesting.
Oh, no doubt, man. No doubt.
Anyways, good luck to y'all. Who do y'all got this week?
Abernathy.
Oh, good luck. I know they're not as good as what they usually have been,
Yeah,
but
but
you
still
still got to
Abernathy.
still
It's
Abernathy, still got to show up and
they
play and execute and do the little conquer
those
the little
those
details. So
those kids have tradition and they know how to win. So we just gotta go execute.
y'all play at home or you're away.
We're at home, luckily.
Good.
Tomorrow we're taking the Jaybirds up to Abernathy and going to go play a little bit. So
There you go. Yep. Where you got our
who y'all got?
JV. Well, you got obviously we got Paradise. So
Paradise. I'm
they're
sorry. Yeah,
yeah. So our JV will play at home. Junior highs are playing at home. I don't think that they don't have freshmen, so our freshmen are going to go play at Jacksboro. So we got to play them again for the third time this year. So see how third time's the charm. If you will. So,
right. Are you with
but
the
our
Are you with the freshman?
yeah, I help with freshmen. So
Good.
those little boys battling to compete. It's just there's only right now there's only 18 of them. And
That's tough.
out of that 18, maybe 11 of them, kid are the guys that actually play. So they usually start off games really well and then kind of
Just
fade off.
peter out just because of depth.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's like it.
that's tough.
Yeah. But anyway,
Been
like I said, they
dude,
battle and they
been
compete. So
been there, man. You look behind you, and there's 5 kids standing there,
yeah,
and you go, okay, 11, okay, 16, we're good. All
yeah,
right, we got everyone, we got 11 on the field.
yeah. Definitely the case. But like I said, they
There's,
battle and compete and they give it their all. Um, so
oh yeah,
they've been a fun group for the most part. Been around.
that's always nice that you have a freshman team, so those
Yeah,
kids
it's
will
good.
just get stuck on the JV and not play at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of our goal was just to keep that freshman
Just
team
play.
together and let them play.
Yep.
So they've been fun. They're enjoying it. So we're gonna have a great time driving over to Jacksboro tomorrow. See if we can pick up a dub. All this stuff.
Yeah. We like I said, we're going. Luckily, Abernathy, we start at 6, and Abernathy's only like 25, 30 minutes from here,
Yes.
from our place. So
Yeah, same for Jacksboro. So it's not worried.
it's not too bad.
No,
It's not too bad.
the rest of our travel, just thinking about varsity wise, is not bad at all. So, uh, we play at Paradise, which is down the road, like maybe 30 minutes, give or take. Uh, play at home against Ponder, Pilot Point, maybe an hour, give or take. And then we play at
Uh,
home against Boyd, so pretty favorable. It's not like we have to drive all the way back to Wall, so that's good.
I'm telling you, man, boys' uniforms are ugly.
Oh, absolutely.
The green and yellow, it's so bad. It's a bad look.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah, bad, 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 bad. But
Really bad.
anyway, brother, appreciate it as always.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I wish you the best. Say hello to Miss Grizzly for us. Um, again, take care of yourself. Have fun tomorrow. Safe travels.
Oh yeah.
Let those boys get out. GATA. I mean, same thing on Friday, man. Wishing you all the best. Get that dub over the Antelopes of Abernathy, and we will try our best on Friday to get a dub over the Panthers and have an upset. So, and
Yes, sir.
congratulations to your Astros. I hope it's a great series.
I don't hope we sweep their ass.
I don't think you're going to get a repeat of last year. So
I hope so. I hope so. That would be the greatest thing to do. Is just
uh,
sweep them. You would not. Jack would not hear the end.
oh, trust
I
me,
tell you
I
it right
know.
now.
I've been on the end of that. Trust me, I know.
All right,
I have been on the end of that. But
all right, brother.
all
Good
right, you
luck to
take
y'all
it easy.
too. Y'all get after him.
Yes, sir. All right, you take it easy. Hey, always remember, the DBAB podcast can be found anywhere podcast can be found. Apple, Spotify. We're also on YouTube, also on Twitter. Go hit us up, like us, or
Yeah.
X, excuse me, like us, repost us, subscribe, follow, whatever the case is. Give some love to your boys. Always remember to be the light out there, people. Be positive, love one each other, be kind. We live in a cruel,
Mate.
dark world, but it doesn't take much effort to be a good person. Uh,
Yep.
it's a
Make
choice that you
someone
can
feel like
make.
somebody.
Absolutely. And always remember, be the light. And remember, the only way up
Is up.
is up. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, that is the DBAB podcast.